Look, there's just some places that are just booming and some places that are just dead at the moment. Whether you're a local considering a new neighborhood or you're actually considering moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, here in this video, I'm going to share with you guys exactly where your eyes should be. This list here is going to be in order from the least to the best zip code based on how many people have actually closed on a home in the last month, while also considering the interest level for those areas. Now, if you're new to me and this YouTube channel, we talk about everything you need to know about Raleigh, North Carolina. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out. But also, I am a licensed realtor here, so if you do need any assistance with your relocation needs, just reach out. And now the first one we have on our list is zip code 27615, which is actually in the North Raleigh area. So if you guys don't know already, this is one of those areas that is highly desirable. So to actually have it first on the list, and meaning first being the least desirable at the moment, I was actually pretty shocked to see, but it made the list. I think that says enough about itself. However, one thing to actually add to it as well, this is an area that does have the least amount of population size out of all of them. So that's also something that you should definitely take in consideration. It's not the largest, so of course, less activity going on, less interest. So, now it makes a little bit more sense on why this may be the first one on the list. Because this is an area that is already well established. In fact, it has North Hills to kind of give it that push, that bump of, why individuals want to be specifically in those areas. And of course, you have golf courses. So it's like you have different amenities and things like that to do in these areas. The second one on the list, which is 27609, this is literally Midtown, North Hills area. So if you don't know already, this is one of those areas that kind of gives me at least that city feel that they're trying to bring the city within Raleigh. And this is probably the closest you're going to get. A little bit more luxury on the high end side as well. So every time I drive past it or I recommend someone go check it out, they're like, wow, that's actually a beautiful area. And honestly, I can second that. So if you're an individual that likes high end, wants to be around, luxury or just get that feel of it, that's one of the places that I definitely would recommend doing. And of course, that is essentially right now I will say it's the hot spot. So a lot of people have been moving to those areas for several different reasons. I mean, it's everything there is relatively new. So anything new, everybody wants to be a part of, everybody wants to be in, and so on and so forth. So 27609 is a zip code here, and that's the second one on this list. Let's go ahead and move on to the third one. But just before doing so, just remember all the research has already been done in terms of where are the best areas to look at specific point in times, because of course it's not always going to be the same. So if you do want that information or you need help or you just want to know, that number that you do see popping up right there, make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing: I got your back in this market. But at this point, you may be wondering, well, why is everybody even moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, or better yet, just North Carolina in general? And some of the reasons I constantly hear is better weather. That's one of the big reasons why I left Connecticut. If you guys don't know, I need to get out of there. It wasn't there. Cost of living is definitely a big thing, especially if you're coming from the big metros like your DC, New York, California, Massachusetts, Georgia, which is very shocking, Washington State, and also Chi-Town, as I like to call it, but it's also Chicago. And then another common reason that I hear a lot of people are relocating to this area is the economic development or even the opportunities, whether it's the growth, the jobs, the job market that's currently here. So those are a few things you can keep in mind. I do have to share a story about this in terms of economic opportunities and job market, because I had a person I was speaking to. We were trying to get this person to relocate to Raleigh, North Carolina, because they were like, hey, I want to be there. I feel like everything is there that I need, except one thing, which was the job market. I was quite honestly shocked because this is a really big place for the medical field, hospitality, and that's exactly the field that person was in. And for some reason, they just couldn't get what they wanted. So, I'll put an asterisk or quotations around the job market being, what everybody says it is, because again, there's stipulations, there's guidelines on everything. But this person specifically, well qualified, had everything that you may have needed in the book. You would think the individual would at least go and fight to get this person, but I don't know. The job market when it comes to the medical field and even the hospitality was a bit of a question mark now because of that experience that person had. So just keep that in mind. Job market is great, but if you have specific wants and needs, you may not get it here. And that is just the reality. And you guys know I'm always going to share with you guys the real raw truth of what's going on here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you guys don't ever miss out. However, getting back to the agenda and talking about this list here of zip codes that are the top fastest growing areas of Raleigh, North Carolina, this zip code here is 27616. Again, another area in North Raleigh, or at least close to North Raleigh area. As you guys can see and tell, North Raleigh is pretty freaking hot right now. And I think it's been like that for the past couple of years. So this should be no surprise, but at least now you guys have zip codes that you can actually hyper focus on if you're looking to move to that Raleigh, North Carolina area. Because this is at least going to put you in between literally that Raleigh and that Wake Forest area. So if you need to be in between it or prefer to be closer to one than the other, that's actually a great place to look at. And this is another area that as well has had the least amount of days on market as of February 2024, right? So something to keep in mind, this is an area that people, not only do they want to move in, they're picking it up pretty quickly. And something that I must know, I know I talked about luxury when it comes to North Hills. There's the Triangle Town Center. So if you are a really big luxury person, there's probably one store in there, and I'll let you go figure that out. That's a luxury brand. So please don't confuse that with Crabtree Mall. And now moving on to the fourth one on this list, this is 27610. And this is an interesting fact, but the previous zip code and this zip code here, 27610, they actually have the same amount of days on market, which I believe is like 35 around there. So meaning a lot of individuals are going in, scooping it up, buying. They're not wasting any time for whatever reasons. This is an area that is under a large amount of development. In fact, if you will see, a lot of new construction is happening in this area specifically. And as the new construction is developing there, one interesting fact to keep in mind is this, out of all 5 areas, has the largest population size at this current moment. So it's already jam-packed, right? And now they're going to jam-pack it even more. And people are wanting to move in there. So just think about the population size and the growth rate that is going to be happening over the next couple of years as South Raleigh just continuously develops. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the last one on this list, the one area that has been growing the fastest is zip code 27613. And if we actually take a look at the map, you will see for 2 reasons that this may be the fastest growing area is because it is close to, one, the airport, but also I think this is the most important piece, which is Research Triangle Park, or RTP, where a lot of employers are. And maybe that's probably where your employer is going to be as well, which is going to minimize that commute time to and from work and home. So that is honestly, I think, the biggest reason why a lot of individuals have been relocating into that area. Because, I mean, if you don't have to travel to work, the place that you spend most of your time, beautiful, right? Beautiful sight for everybody. But we also can't forget the fact that this is actually close to Bride Creek as well, which is one of those areas that is growing and actually increasing its popularity at the moment, including a lot of different things, so that you don't have to travel too far out to go to different areas to get that experience or to do certain things. If you stay to this point in the video, I have another zip code that you can keep your eyes on, which is 27604. Something to mention about that zip code specifically, it is growing slower than everything else I have already mentioned, so it's not a priority at the moment. But I want to hear, if you're considering relocating to the Raleigh, North Carolina area, let's hear it in the comments below. Which zip codes are you considering? But just as much as I enjoy making these videos for you guys, my name is Roney Polynice, and I am a licensed realtor in North Carolina, so I would love nothing more but the opportunity to be able to assist you with your relocation needs. So you see that number that is popping up right there? Make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, email, day or night, heck, maybe even on the weekends. Always remember one thing: I got your back in this market.